If you don't know what Ekuru or Ofuloju is, or you don't know how to make it, then this video is definitely for you because this is so yummy and I'm just going to be showing you how to make it in this video. So I added pepper, that's my scotch bonnet and my red bell peppers, and I just added my garlic and onions to it, and I'm going to be blending that like a rough blend. Okay, always a rough blend, not a smooth blend, but if you choose to do a smooth blend, it's fine, but a rough blend is like the perfect, you know, consistency for an Ekuru stew. Okay, so I'm just blending that, and I'm just gonna, you know, go to the next step, which is blended beans. So Ekuru is blended beans. You know the way you do your moi moi preparation, that is exactly how Ekuru is, but without the pepper, without the salt, without the Maggi. Okay, but in this video I decided to add a little bit of vegetable oil just so it can be very fluffy and it can come out from the moi moi leaves easily, so it doesn't stick to my moi moi leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to be, you know, mixing that till it is very smooth. Just in like 2 minutes you should be done with the mixing. Just, you know, mixing it so that the vegetable oil and the blended beans can be, you know, well combined. Okay, so this is me just mixing it now, and I'm just going to use my moi moi leaves. Okay, so I'm going to be using a spoon to scoop this batter into my moi moi leaves. Okay, so if you also do not know how to use moi moi leaves for your Ekuru or your moi moi, then why don't you know how to make it? Like, why don't you know? It's very easy. In 1 minute you're done with one moi moi wrap, okay, or your Ekuru wrap. So this is what you're just gonna do. You're gonna make use of 2 leaves. You can make use of 1 leaves, but if you're a beginner, just make use of 2 leaves, just like I'm doing in this video. Okay, so I'm just going to, you know, scoop that into my moi moi leaves, and I'm just going to cover. So watch how I covered it. Okay, it's very easy. Just use one of your hand to, I don't know how to explain it with my mouth, but it is very easy. I you know, did this one very well, so just keep watching if you don't know how to use moi moi leaves for your moi moi or your Ekuru or anything you want to, you know, wrap inside your moi moi. Okay, so just watch. I'm just going to keep quiet now so you watch. So I haven't watched to this part without me interrupting with my voice. I hope you know how to make use of your moi moi wraps now. Okay, so this is just the last scoop, and I'm just, you know, gonna scoop my last batter Yeah, this is like my last batter. So I'm just going to scoop my last batter and, you know, put that to a boil. So you can see this doesn't have pepper, whether scotch bonnet pepper or any. It doesn't have pepper. Like, this is just peeled blended beans, okay, just, you know, bland like that. No salt, no maggi, no pepper, just vegetable oil. And I gave you my reasons, just so it can be fluffy and so the batter doesn't stick to the moi moi leaves. Okay, so this is just the last scoop and we're good to go now. So I'm just going to set all of my workspace aside, and I just add water to this. Be careful while adding the water. You want to add the water, you know, from the sides, just like I'm doing in this video. You don't just want to pour the water like that so that it doesn't, you know, interrupt with your already wrapped moi moi. Okay, so just make sure you put water on the sides, and I'm just going to put that on my gas and allow that to boil within 40-45 minutes, just the same way you cook your moi moi. The minutes your moi moi, you know, take in getting ready, that is the same minutes that this takes in getting ready. You can see in this video it is properly cooked and ready, and at this point my kids were already shouting, "Mommy, it's smelling like moi moi." So on to the next one, we're going to move into making the Ekuru stew, which you need red oil for that. But before that, you want to make sure that the pot you're using is dry before adding in your red oil, okay? And you're going to allow that bleach a bit, not like not to the extreme, but you're going to allow that bleach. That is, you allow it steam for some minutes, just like I did in this video. And you add in your chopped onions or your, you know, cut onions, and you allow that to fry, okay? Then you add in your locust beans, which is your Ekuru, okay? And you're going to allow that to fry. The reason for that is you want to release all of the onions flavor and the locust beans flavor into that red oil, okay? It's giving local stew, you know, taste and all of that. And this is my blended pepper, my roughly blended pepper. This pepper consists of scotch bonnet pepper and my paprika pepper, okay? That's the long one, the one the Hausas call bawa. And I'm just going to stir that so that the oil can mix properly, and I'm going to cover and allow that to cook, allow that to fry for minutes. You can see in this video I did not add maggi, salt or anything. I'm just going to allow that to fry very well, and while I'm sure that has fried to some extent, like 10 minutes and thereabouts, I'm going to add in my pomo, that's my cow skin. The reason I'm adding in my pomo first is just so it can get soft and it can, you know, release that pomo flavor into it, and, you know, get away that, you know, pomo smell that some people don't like, okay? So the stew would have entered the pomo very well. And I added my nut chicken cubes, and I'm gonna stir again, cover and allow to fry again. I have to like cover this and allow it fry. Like, most people make mistakes when, you know, frying their stew. They do not allow it fry. They just go right in adding all their seasoning and, you know, condiments and all of that, which ends up not being sweet, kind of, I don't know. But then you have to allow it fry. That's why it's called fried stew, okay? So I added in my thyme and my curry, and I'm gonna stir and allow that to fry again. The reason I'm allowing that to fry is just so the curry, everything I, you know, poured in can, you know, mix well, cook together, release its own flavor in that, okay? So I'm just gonna stir, and right now I'm going to add in my fish, which I made use of round smoked panla fish that I already fried a little bit with my red oil, okay? I'm just gonna be adding that, and I'm gonna be mixing, you know, let the stew, you know, enter the fish. You know, I'm also going to be adding mullet. I had this mullet in my freezer, the head of the mullet fish in my freezer. So I fried that with my red oil still, and I'm just gonna add that to it. Okay, you can see all of this, you know, release its own flavor into the stew, and it gives it that local you know, Ekuru stew taste. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that the stew, you know, is on the fish, so that the stew can enter the fish very well. So that's why I'm using my spoon to pour the stew on the fish. Then I'm just going to cover and let that, you know, fry or steam for a few minutes. Then we are, you know, done making the Ekuru stew. This stew was so delicious. It was so delicious. My kids were jumping. I myself, as an adult, I was just jumping up, like I was jumping with joy, because I've been craving this Ofuloju or Ekuru for the longest, and here it is. And I decided to, you know, show my subscribers, you know, how to make your own Ofuloju or Ekuru at the comfort of your home. So this is ready now, and I'm just gonna go straight, you know, and serve myself. Yes, so I'm just going to like unwrap the moi moi, and you can see, oh my god, you can see how beautiful this looks, right? You can see the steam coming out. At this point, it had no taste. Trust me, when you taste it, it is tasteless, but so delicious, even like from this very particular moment. But just, you know, stay and watch what I did, how I did, because there's like a special way you eat Ekuru. Yeah, there's a special way you eat Ekuru. You don't eat Ekuru with your spoon or just your stew. Just watch what I did in this video. So I'm just gonna, you know, put my stew on the Ofuloju now, my fish, my cow skin. I'm just gonna serve myself, and, you know, just stay tuned to see what I did after serving, putting the stew on the Ofuloju. You want to make sure you have enough stew, okay? Because this thing, it used to chop stew. Chop stew, because the stew is what you're gonna use to make it have taste. You see, I added salt to it. I added salt, like you always add salt to your Ekuru. You always add salt to your Ofuloju, and you're gonna mix this together, like you're gonna mash it together. So at first, I was using my spoon to cut it, which was not working for me. Like, it wasn't working at all. I had to drop the spoon no more. I had to go right in with my hands, because that's the right way to eat your Ekuru. You have to make use of your hands. You know, you have to mix everything together. You have to mash it together. And it was so delicious. I just had to like share this video, so that, because there might be someone out there who doesn't know how to make it. So if you watch this video to this extent, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.